in 8th grade, I told my mom, and we could get her comment on this, but she couldn't make it today. And
tried.
And I told her, I said, in 8th grade, before I even got to high school, I said, I'm going to do photography for Sports Illustrated.
Hello, and welcome back to the Pre-Pro podcast, presented by SPLYCEHOUSE and hosted by Bill Parmentier, myself, from Old Storm Studios, both here in St. Louis, Missouri. Today on the podcast, we have a very special guest, an acclaimed Sports Illustrated photographer, Dave Klutho. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
What you guys don't know is that we did the intro about 75 times, and that was the only time that it's worked. So, Dave, welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much. How would you describe yourself, Dave? Like, professionally, what... I said Sports Illustrated photographer, but like, what does that mean? You tell me.
Well, it means that was my goal in life, and I've got there, and I've been doing it with them for 37 years almost.
37 years. So that's as older than you, Jake?
By a year.
By a year, yeah. So you've been shooting, Dave's been shooting Sports Illustrated longer than Jake has been alive.
Yes.
Which gives you lots of experience. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Before you shot Sports Illustrated, you had to have started somewhere. Was photography or videography or some type of media something you wanted to do as a kid, or did it develop later in life?
Well, I started, my first camera was a Kodak X15 126 camera. It's just the ones, I think they were like $10. In fact, I even have this is actually the original one.
That's the actual one.
Actual one.
How old were you when you got that? Was that a Christmas gift?
Case included.
Hey, that's a nice case.
Oh, no, it is Kodak.
It's in really great shape.
So,
wait, yeah, when did you get that camera? And how did you
7th grade.
Okay.
I got it for Christmas. I was going to bring the picture of me opening it on Christmas.
I think I've seen this picture.
But I thought that might not be a good idea. Anyway, but no, this was my first camera. It took the magic cubes and the whole the whole battery-less, God only knows what their explosive potential was. And this is what I started with.
What were you shooting? Things around the house?
Yeah. Go on a trip or something, bad travel pictures.
So people listening can hear it. Can you advance the film? I love that sound.
People can.
That should be the sound effect to our podcast.
Yeah, I love it.
Wait, let's get a clean one of that. There it is. There's our intro.
God. It's got more to drive too.
I bet
that's how you
shot that fast. Yeah,
you can't just lay on the shutter anymore and just or back then.
So back before we had digital cameras, Jake, we had to shoot one photo at a time. Yeah,
reload film.
So that was the first part of this, and then my uncle, I knew he had this, but my uncle had an Exacta, and it was just a fancy camera with a German camera with a bunch of dials on it. I thought, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So in 8th grade, I took a summer school class in photography, beginner for whatever they called it at summer school. And I came out of that and said, I got to get one of these cameras. Yeah. So my dad's one of the tennis people he plays with, they had a Pentax Spotmatic screw mount lens camera. And I said, can I buy that? Because it was extra or something. And he goes, yeah. And I did that. So in 8th grade, I told my mom, and we could get her comment on this, but she couldn't make it today. And
tried, believe me.
And I told her, I said, in 8th grade, before I even got to high school, I said, I'm going to do photography for Sports Illustrated. Because I'd been interested in, action-y photography. Mm-hmm. And I had been looking at Sports Illustrated and stuff, and, saw names in there and stuff. And I just said, that's my goal in life.
Well, I want to preface this too for the audience, our millions of listeners that understand that you're from St. Louis. You went to Vianney High School, so you're right here. You're local,
hometown boy.
A lot of people probably don't even know that. So, just to add to that story, but then obviously,
in Vianney, I went and everybody was, I'm going to be on the wrestling team. I'm going to be on this football team. And my team was being photographer for the yearbook and the newspaper, because that was my sport. See, so then from day one, I took that on as I'm going to do all these different sports and shoot it for the papers and the news. And frankly, we developed the pictures in the dark room, the photography club or whatever. And that got my interest in, but then it gravitated during high school to just sports only. And I said, this is what I want to do. And I kept that thing going where I'm going to go to Sports Illustrated. It's sort of like a kid in Little League, and he says, I'm going to go to the Cardinals. I'm going to, and he keeps saying that through college and through whatever. And, and then just after that, I started collecting other lenses for this camera. It's a very simple camera, and I would collect, I got I think a 300 millimeter off of the B&H, when B&H was a storefront.
Oh yeah.
But they were only exclusively mail order. So I got, that, and I just kept doing this kind of stuff. And I just, I couldn't get enough of it. And my plan was to do that after college. And so I went to Missouri for college.
Mizzou, University of Missouri, Columbia.
Yeah, University of Missouri, Columbia.
Yes.
And
MIZ.
ZOU. And
I didn't even go there.
All right, so I went to Missouri, and I'm just giving you a little timeline because it's important because of how this all went down. Because at 2 stages, there were some important things that happened, and so I went to Missouri. I showed up literally in August, end of August. I showed up, went to the dorm, got your stuff piled in your dorm room, met some person you'd never met before as a roommate. And then the first thing I did that Monday, we did it on a weekend. And then that Monday, the first thing I did is I went into the athletic department of Missouri. So this is University of Missouri. This was back when in their heyday when they had a good football team, good sports. So
and this is in the 1940s, or
well,
oh, okay. No.
I don't want to date myself, but anyway, the head guy of the sports information office is the guy who really invented that concept. His name's Bill Callahan, and he's the godfather of that whole stuff. And he was there. He had been there for God only knows how many years. And I walked in, and I said, I need to talk to someone about photography and doing some photography. And you got to talk to Bill Callahan. So I did, and
they just let you just waltz in and say, "Hey, I want to talk to
it's
the head honcho."
But back then it was loosely run, like anything is now. Everybody, So anyway, so there he is, and I meet him with him, and I said I want to do. I just frankly said I want to do pictures for you. And this is my first year,
freshman year.
Freshman year.
Some kid any kid off the street.
Yeah, I mean, anyway.
What kind of camera do you have? And then you show him that camera?
No. so I ended up, I went and I prepared for this kind of because I had been doing this all through high school. So, and he said, okay, well, what have you shot or whatever? But I had some 8x10s. I had stuff to show him. So. Yeah. And I showed him stuff from the high school and showed him stuff from other things I'd done. I might have gone to a horse race thing or a horse jumping thing, other things while I was in high school. And he looks at them, and I know kind of the quality of sometimes they get in these things. And they're lucky, especially back then when you had to manually focus and all that. Because shooting action, if you had good action, that was something they don't see a lot, especially out of student people.
And it's a lot of just like getting lucky too, I imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no, but yeah, I mean, it's like the one guy that has one picture that he wants to show you. Yeah. But anyway, I showed the guy a bunch of different things, and this wasn't but it was gravitating toward SI quality levels. It was gravitating that way. So it wasn't like
already by your freshman year.
Well, yeah, because I shot all this through high school.
You did it all through.
When I was senior in high school,
had 4 years of experience.
I had a 300 millimeter lens. I had a motorized camera. I mean, I was on track to do this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
Did the other students think you were some weirdo? With
no,
all these
but
cameras and stuff?
that comes in later. But no, so the guy looks at him and he literally kind of just surprisingly asked me, "Well, when can you start?"
Oh, geez.
And I said, "Well, I guess I put my stuff away already, so now."
Yeah, right now.
So okay, so that
What are you doing now?
this is the most well-known SID in the country. That's who this is. I didn't know that. So anyway, so
It probably helped you not knowing. You just
well,
There
I
was
don't
no
know.
intimidate-
I don't,
you know.
but not really, because I just like, again, you have something to show. You're not. You would be intimidated if you didn't have the goods. If you didn't have something to show that you thought would be, interesting for him. So anyway, so he goes, "Well, can you?" And this is like, so he says, "Would you like to start with the opening day of the varsity football?" So I'm going to this game, and Kellen Winslow's playing, and I mean, this is back when they had Wendell Ray, Colin Winslow, Kenny Blair, all these top drawer, Gary Ellis. So anyway,
and you're thrown straight into the fire with the first game of varsity.
Yeah, and then I did all the different sports. It's the first year, the second year I was there, I put up strobes in Hearn Center.
I want to also ask, because I know this about you. You were a finance major. You weren't even a photographer.
You weren't?
Told me you were a finance major and that was your backup plan, and you were just going to do this as a side hobby, but a very serious.
Oh no, it was the other way around.
Oh, no, I know.
It was
so it wasn't
it was
a side
never
hobby.
intended.
That was your
it was never
finance
intended.
was your side hobby.
Yeah, well, it's never intended to be used, but it was a solid degree that I could utilize later if I wanted to.
Did you minor in finance?
No, it's my major. It's a business degree in finance.
He wasn't even in the J school. He had nothing to do with it.
My academic photography was the 8th grade summer school. That was it.
Jeez.
That's the only formal schooling I had in the photography.
So the lesson is, kids listening, you don't have to go to school.
Well,
You just
but
jump right in.
there's something. Well, if you're in something that you can expand and get into on a professional level on your own,
This is a perfect example of like even if you go to school, it's not just about being in the classes. You made something happen by going in and talking.
Yeah.
To
And education isn't just about going to lectures.
You didn't have to be in the J school to get to that.
And it's like
contact.
because you just. If you have the drive to do it, and it's just like anything, and there's opportunities. But I went in to show this guy stuff, and he said, "Oh yeah, here." So because there you go. So then I did that all 4 years.
Was it all free, or were you actually paid?
No, at some point it had pay involved and a budget and everything. I was doing so anyway. So then I went from there and shot. Well, I shot every sport. I put up strobes. I don't know if your listeners, viewers know about that, but it's strobe lights that light the whole building, and I put them up in the Hearn Center and in the.
You owned the strobes? Yeah,
I bought them.
How'd you even get the money to buy strobes? Those were expensive. Sports Illustrated was the only one that probably.
Oh, I know.
had
Well, SI and a couple random team photographers, and that's it in the whole country.
And this kid, this little kid at Mizzou.
This
little upstart shit starter.
No, I have to give my grandma credit for this.
Did she bankroll your photography operation?
She died to do that.
Oh, okay, jeez.
So anyway, she would be very happy to know.
Well, rest in peace, Grandma.
That I didn't blow it on a bar bill somewhere or whatever. Yeah. So I went and bought these strobes, and we put them in the CERN Center, and I was shooting wrestling. I was shooting all these different sports strobed, and I mean, again, that's just because I knew from looking at those that the SI kind of, and the internet wasn't around, so I couldn't sit there and research this. See,
so you were experimenting.
But I kind of was talking to people and get little bits of information here and there, but you couldn't just type in strobing arenas or something,
Right, yeah.
because that was it, so I pieced together and we ended up getting this brand that just came out, and they were better than the Speedotrons and the stuff other people were using. They're no longer in business, but that's
at the time.
At the time they were up and coming, kind of just from a technological standpoint. They're much faster duration and stuff.
Was it hard to sell that to the school and say, "Hey, I want to put these strobe lights in there. We'll get much better photos, but it's going to be, it's going to take this much effort, or it's going to be distracting for people, or whatever."
No,
was there any battle there?
No, because I just took in a copy of SI and said, "Here, look at this color. Look at this. This is because they use strobes.
Here's the proof."
Yeah. This is what Huh. And they said, "Oh, well, let's do it then," because it's not costing them anything. I bought them, and it's just an access thing, and they said, "Why not?"
I'm curious. When you were doing all this, I feel like there's a little bit of territorial traits in the maybe sports photography world. Were there people coming into these Mizzou games and like, who is like what's going on? They don't have strobes. You have all this stuff, and you're just some freshman or sophomore, and it's like, who the hell is this kid? Well, and who does he think he is?
It's not even territorial because for the most part, it didn't exist in people's minds, because they're not saying, "Oh, I wish I could have that." They don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Because the strobes go off, "Oh, who's doing that?" or whatever. They don't understand the correlation between, a lot of people just look at SI and say, "God, they must have good cameras or something." But it's all about the lighting, especially when you're indoors, on film especially, because film is really bad in low light. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there going, and you're solving a problem, but this, I think I think I got a set of 4, and then I got a set of 4 more. But at first it was like $7,000 or something, just to, but then again, it if you don't do that, you can't, it's like having a bad piece of equipment as an athlete, even though the stuff exists for the pros.
You're limited as to like how far you can go.
So then as far as SI goes, I graduated from Mizzou with a finance degree, business degree in finance. And
responsible.
And it's a backup. It's a solid. It's not a basket weaving or something. The underwater one's the hard one, though.
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah. So anyway,
we all know that.
So anyway, I get in. My plan is to go to SI with a portfolio. I mean, it worked once. I mean, I went and that wasn't a formal portfolio or anything to the Mizzou guy.
Sure.
But it's the same kind of thing. You want to show them something they want, and they get, and as I found out later, there's so many people send in and bring in portfolios all the time. They just one of the editors looks at this, looks at that, constantly all year long. So, I said, well, I'll play that game, but I'm going to play it when I'm ready. So I'm organizing a portfolio. I want it to be very comprehensive, very SI related quality levels, and so because that's what they're used to seeing.
So you're looking at the magazine and
I was looking at the magazine since 7th grade. Yeah. I was thinking that since 7th grade. So anyway, I'm there. And I'm just collecting. So I would go to like local high school games, like high school football. Mm-hmm. A lot of that was during whatchamacallit, during the college days. I would go, I would be home on the weekend, and I'd go to a game or something. If the Mizzou was out of town, I would go to a game over at Kirkwood High School. I would go to DeSmet, local high schools, and shoot, practice. It's like going on doing scrimmaging.
Yeah,
and I would do that with various sports.
Yeah,
it would afford me the ability to get more stuff for the portfolio. Mm-hmm. Maybe I want to try a different angle, a different lens, a different, whatever. I remember going to this polo match and trying something different, just stuff you see on
challenging yourself.
Yeah. And not only challenge, but yeah. And actually, when right at the tail end of college, I started shooting some down at the Blues games. They were at the Checkerdome, which is the old barn as it's known. And and again, that's when I was out of school, I put in the set of strobes that was up there. I put them into the arena to shoot hockey.
Yeah.
To make sure I got decent hockey that was worthy. So I put that up, and I didn't do it as a team photographer. I just did it. I think my dad's law office was next door, and they knew that somebody knew somebody, and I just, I put the strobes up because no one had strobes in there. Mm-hmm. A guy had some a few years before, but it was like a single light and something, But we said we wanted to do the whole building, and we showed them stuff. And
so when you're saying set up these strobes, you're saying you're lighting up everything,
the whole thing,
the whole place.
By that time, we're using 8 lights.
Gotcha.
And we're lighting the whole thing up. So when I push the button, all 8 lights go up. So if you don't get a dark background, a lot of people would shoot with a single light or a single pair. They have a dark edge in the back, and you can't see. It's like a on-camera flash at a wedding. You see just a dark background. Mm-hmm. It's not like that. It looks like the lights in the building. So we did that, and I would be shooting games, and they had holes cut in the glass, and I would give them some pictures and that, and it was eye opening because that's a whole different scenario because you're dealing with a hole in the glass, things flying around, and your timing too is all this strobe stuff is second nature, but it's the timing. You get one pop. It's single frame. It's not like now everybody's motoring through stuff. Nowadays the cameras are shooting 30 frames a second.
Well, because there's the recycle rate of the strobe, so you have to sit there and
so you got to wait,
and then
that
you could miss that goal if you think you have it.
It's
goalie blocks it, you shoot it, then it goes in.
Oh yeah,
so you don't get it.
It's the
hockey's got to be one of the hardest ones to shoot.
Well, yeah, no hockey's got the highest difficulty level of most things because it's random. You have limited swing because you're in a hole, and also things aren't basketball where it's going. Someone's going to come in the key and either rebound or
Hockey's kind of unpredictable.
Totally unpredictable. Suddenly the guy's over here, suddenly the guy's over there. Mm-hmm. And again, it's the whole thing is I was working out. Mm-hmm. It's just like
training.
It's just like some guy going out and shooting all day at the basketball or taking batting practice to keep honing his skills. But the funniest thing is, as I mentioned, I was go to these random games of different high schools because the high schools you could just get on.
Would you just like walk in and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna take some pictures," and they'd be like,
"Back
okay,
then,
cool."
But then it's not the same as it now.
You didn't have to tell anybody. You just
show up. because no one, and that's the other thing at Mizzou. I had a 302.8 and all this equipment. And someone did, not to backtrack, but someone did say, well, why don't we ever see you in class? And I go, because I'm in the finance department. Yeah. and he go, oh,
it's called a backup plan.
Yeah. No. So anyway, but that's the thing. But the funniest thing was you go to these games and I'd see, I won't mention any names, but there's certain local photographers. Mm-hmm. And this was 40 years ago or 37 years ago ish, or no, yeah, almost 40 years ago. And they'd say, well, you don't go to school here. Like the guy from some local
paper
concerns.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, there's two different.
We don't need to say names.
Yeah,
but no.
There was two different people. Anyway, they said, why are you shooting this? And I go, I'm practicing. And they go, and this happened like twice with two different people. Like what? Like for what? And I go, well, I'm going to be a photographer with Sports Illustrated. And they literally stopped what they were doing and just badmouthed that whole thing. Like, no way, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a kid saying,
I'm going to be in the NBA.
I'm going to be, or I'm going to be a major league.
Yeah.
And they,
I'm going to be an astronaut.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, nice pipe dream.
Right. Yeah. And it's just, that's just the way it is. And they were so, and they know who they are, and they know they said that. So
haha.
Yeah, well,
Look at me now.
I'm just saying it's so. And so anyway,
But you never let that affect you. You have you were on your
that
mission.
actually,
It didn't matter.
No, that
probably
made
put
it better.
fire
No, it made
under
it better because I want to do better pictures than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to prove them wrong.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to show why you're not there. You know. Anyway, so
Sports Illustrated.
I had this. I have it at home. They're printed like this was back in that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 16 by 20 prints or something. They're mounted and matted and that. I had them all radio Cyberchromes. They were these decent prints and then I'm sitting there. I'm trying to think when I'm going to go to do this. You know.
Are you trying to think of the right time? Or are you trying to build up the gumption to go do this?
No, the right time because I was just building up the proper what I thought
you
mix
wanted a
of things.
professional looking layout.
Was there?
I have it all. I have it all at home in a little case.
Was there like one shot in particular you were like, man, if I just get this shot, I'll be ready?
No, not really.
You had it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good mix. You know, I wanted to be more a good mix because a lot of people come in to look at these jobs kind of thing and say they're more I do baseball or I do football. You know, there's a lot of those because they like team photographers. It's like I just do baseball. Oh, could you do hockey? Well, I could try. You know, I mean, I wanted to show
you can do it all.
So anyway, so here's where it got funny kind of. So I went and I'm sitting there and I lived in South St. Louis in some duplex. And so my dad calls me on a Sunday and he goes, well, somebody just called for you. And I said, who? And he goes, well, Sports Illustrated. And I go, any other time I would say, punked,
yeah,
you know, but I said, and he goes, I wrote the number down as a 212 number.
There's a New York number.
Yeah, so I go, okay, so, but this was before you could do all the fake routing and that.
Yeah.
So, and I go, okay, I guess I'll place, but it's a Sunday at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, why are they calling at that time?
I'll find out when I call back.
Tune in next time.
No, he called you right after they called, and you called them right back.
No, he called my dad, and my dad gave me the message. Then I called back probably an hour or two later. You know, by the time everything got sorted out. And I said, and his name was Jeff Weig, and he's the hockey editor. So he called, okay, he answers, it's Jeff Weig with Sports Illustrated. And I go, yeah, you called. And my dad said, you left a message. And he goes, oh yeah, do you do pictures any down at the arena for the hockey? And I go, well, yeah, I'd been doing it for a couple of years down there. And he goes, well, this is Jeff from Sports Illustrated. He's the director of the photography for hockey or that. And I go, well, I mean, what are you doing? And he goes, well, we're doing a story on hockey fights. And I'm like, okay, and I know where this is going because it's like going to the NASCAR. We're doing it only on crashes.
Right.
And well, what if the crash doesn't happen, you know? Mm-hmm. And he goes, and I get it. You might not have some great hockey fights because it's not, it might be just as hard to get a hockey game breaking out at a boxing match, but
right.
So anyway, so I said, I'll send you a page of slides. And he goes, okay. And he gives me a FedEx.
Did you tell him you were like, no, I have hockey fights, or did you just?
No. I just said I said I probably have something. And he goes, here's our FedEx number, and
Okay, so this is when you had to actually mail slides.
Well, FedEx them. I mean.
Yeah, but do you have copies? I mean, you're sending that.
Well, I mean, by that time, he's pretty much convinced me that he's the real deal too. So I'm not.
Well, I was just saying about damage along the way.
Hey, that's worth the risk if it means getting your hand, even if it's just getting someone's hands on your stuff. So anyway, so this is where this went then. So
and this is pre you actually sending in your portfolio.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So he beat me to it.
Yeah, they reached out to me first.
What happened after that?
Okay, so then he gets these. And like clockwork, he calls me like in the morning because FedEx just arrived, and he gets me on the phone. He goes, well, he goes, who does your lighting? And I go, well, I do. He goes, "You do?" I go, "Yes." "Oh, well, we just noticed that, it seems to be strobed." And I go, "Of course it is."
Yeah.
So that, and that's okay. And he said, "Oh yeah, there's nothing really stellar there that we're looking for. They were looking for, teeth coming out or something, I guess."
Sure. Yeah.
But we knew that. We're not trying to say this is a good test. But he goes, "Well, do you have any like other hockey that you could send me just to show us some stuff?" And I go, "Well, yeah." And he goes, he goes, "You still got the FedEx number?" "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, send me a couple of pages of slides." Now, keep in mind, a couple of pages of slides in that era was unedited, manual everything, because you're shooting.
You can't cut out the ones that you don't want to.
No. But it's not even that. You're not showing cropped. You're not showing it, the exposure altered. It is the actual real thing.
Raw as raw can get.
So you know how the person was framing, how the person was focusing, how they were, everything. No sharpening available, So it's like, if you give me a page, if you give me 5 pages of slides and you're some, kid in school, I know exactly how good you are by just looking at those slides. You don't need prints,
Yeah.
See? So, so I assembled a thing of it's probably 3 or 4 pages, so it's like 100 pictures or whatever, in different angles and stuff, and he calls me back and he goes, "Well, I got your package today." And he goes, the director of photography wants to talk to you.
Oh, geez.
So it was Barbara Henkel. She was with Rolling Stone for a long time, and then she was director of photography for SI for a long time. And she goes, "Yeah, we just noticed the pictures you've been taking, and we want to give you an assignment." And I said, "Okay." So she goes that they're doing a story on one of the Chicago Blackhawks, and they're coming to St. Louis. And they were going to have me shoot one end and have another photographer from SI fly in from New York.
Wow.
Have a person set up a set of strobes just for them and shoot the other end.
So you'd have your own strobes,
And
he would have his own strobes.
It's like
You guys are covering at ends.
No, it's like a battle of the bands.
Yeah. Who's going to win in a battle
Exactly.
of the strobes?
So anyway, so it was, it was interesting. I mean, because it's one guy too. So you're not, I think they used a boarding picture of him when it all said and done, because, when you're doing one guy, you get so much stuff and that's it,
Right.
And we know that, that happens in hockey a lot. So anyway, so the guy, the other guy was at the other end. Mm-hmm. It's my nemesis. Anyway, so I, and the thing is, I was following people in the magazine, so I knew who this was, so it's, so anyway, it's like,
so you're on opposite ends of the ring.
Yeah.
Basically shooting toward each other.
Well, you're you're on the side, so you're only
only
seeing you're seeing it within the blue line. You can't even, neither one of us can either see sunrise.
Yeah,
so.
they don't have the holes behind the net, because that would be very
I don't
dangerous.
know.
That would just be horribly dangerous,
Yeah.
probably.
But how exciting.
Oh, very exciting, I'm sure. You get pucks coming right
That's
at
a
you.
different podcast. You could do a whole thing on some of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I shoot I shoot everything, but there's no looking at the back of cameras. There's no, you're not able to do, and you're follow focusing, you're doing all that stuff. So
the game ends, you're like, I hope I got something good.
Well, I don't like to look at it like that, because then you're always questioning yourself. A lot of this stuff, frankly, that's when it started. During Mizzou, things were starting that your real muscle memory on bizarre things. Like you find yourself shooting a picture without even
Realizing you're doing
not even. So, and that happens to this day.
Your finger just kind of
absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you're on strobe, same thing, because you got to decide when to pull that trigger. And frankly, most people are way late all the time.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And you just got to, and it's weird. And the focus is muscle memory. It was the craziest thing. I mean, frankly, we sometimes talk about this in bar talk with other SI people and that, like from the back in the day crowd. And back when we were all doing this, I mean, there's probably 50 people in the country that could do this. That really, That could go to a game, physically do that kind of work, and come away with the goods, and not just a lucky picture.
I could probably say that there are people that probably miss shots today, and it's a lot easier now.
Well, but see, that's the thing.
With autofocus.
Everything about it, But that's why I'm saying there's probably literally 50 to 100 people max in the whole country that could even work for SI because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're literally, it's like a wood carver. Hey, go carve this fancy thing. And there's only certain people that could do it.
Yeah, like I could do it, but it looked like a weird,
exactly.
bird.
So anyway, he got this. I talked to him after that, and I said, well, I think he might even have called me. I think he called me. He's that kind of guy. He's
the other photographer.
No, the editor.
Oh, the editor. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the guy that originally called me looking for sites.
Jeff Weig.
Yeah, Jeff Weig. And he said,
gotcha.
He said, I look at your stuff. Yeah, they're going to use one of your pictures, but you killed the other guy. No, because he's that kind of guy. He likes to fit people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and he goes, and he goes, yes. And so you'll be hearing from us again or something.
And so, I mean, how did you feel after that? What was
well,
this sort
I
of
felt like this is the next hurdle, but no, it's the next hurdle.
Okay.
You probably weren't even, you were just moving with the flow, and you next thing.
Well, I'll give you the fast forward right in that first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks later, the guy calls me Eric Godwin, and I go, yes, this is Eric Godwin. I'm the NCAA basketball editor for SI. And he go, we want you to go to the Midwest Regional Finals in Kemper. And I said, okay. So I went there. Another guy shows up, and the guy with the strobes. But this time he put up 2 sets, one for me. Oh. See, so I guess that's a move in the right direction.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So anyway, so then then they did a split cover with 4 pictures and representing each region. Mm-hmm. And the one was Kansas, and that was my cover as a partial cover. Was
that your first one?
Yeah. Well, it was 2 weeks later than the first thing I did. So anyway, so then after that, and this is all happening in 3 months. I'm giving you a timeline of 3 months from the time I started, which is like March 1st or something.
That first hockey game.
Yeah. And then I end up going to this lady calls. And she goes, yeah, this is Eileen Miller. And I go, okay. Yeah, with SI. And I go, oh, okay. She goes, I'm the MBA, photography.
You're going
editor.
through all the departments.
And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, we want you to go to Atlanta because we're doing a cover story on Dominique Wilkins.
Oh, rad.
So I go down there. Some random guy shows up and puts strobes up. I don't even remember who it was. That's a crazy building too for the old Omni. And so I shoot this. I shot one or 2 games. It might have been 2 games. And then they had the pictures on the inside, and there was the first full cover.
Awesome.
And it's just like, okay.
How many years, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but how many years did it take till you became a staff photographer? And there was how many, 20 staff photographers at the time?
But see, the thing is, it was all a nuanced thing because they had contract photographers. Everybody, they had a few staff and then contract. Contract was just the same thing, only you didn't get the healthcare or something. But everything else was the same.
It's like being freelance.
Yeah. But at least it's a guaranteed thing. It's not like, freelance, well, we didn't call you this year, So anyway, so at least it was a commitment by them. There was only like, 10 or 12.
Oh, there's only 10 or 12.
10, there was
contractors.
Yeah. And then there was like 4 or 5 staff guys at that point. That's it.
Really? How many staff guys when they had the most staff guys? 6?
No, there was like 8 or 10. But yeah, so you're
no wonder people were like, crazy dream you have of going to Sports Illustrated. There's 10 people in the entire world that are on staff.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it was a targeted thing. It was just like any thing, it's,
Well, and this is when Sports Illustrated was at its peak.
And,
I mean,
and granted, people would say, people would come out of the woodwork sometimes. Oh, we need a person in Seattle. Oh yeah, get this guy. So people get other people get freelance work, but
Sure.
the contract thing was. So anyway, so after the Dominic Wilkins thing, then Jeff Weig calls back again, and he says, this was right after that, because this is in mid-April, because the playoffs are starting. So he says, do you want to do the hockey conference final? Because they had the Wales and the other one, whatever that is, Campbell and Wales, I think. They were half and half on NHL.
No idea.
The winners of the conference go to the Stanley Cup. There's two winners.
The West?
Yeah, well, it might be. I don't know. They used to call it the Clarence Campbell and the Wales.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we got that settled. So then so this was unique in that. So I hadn't been to a Stanley Cup. This is So and it was just intriguing because
is this 1986?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes,
"Here I was born."
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, just showing
you weren't born yet, though.
I wasn't even born.
No.
Yet. Oh, yeah, because this would have been in March.
Yeah.
Or no.
Oh, no, this is April.
Spring.
Or no,
April.
April, May.
Yeah, May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I get this. So he goes, well, I just want to see if you were interested in doing this, and I go, yeah, and he goes,
did you expect you to say no?
No, but here's what it was. This was a unique thing too. So you got east and west things going on. So you got these series. One's way west and one's way east, and so that back then they meshed the TV wasn't as prominent in the scheduling. So the NHL just went back and forth, seamlessly. A lot of times nowadays there's 3 days off, 2 days off between games.
Yeah.
This was back and forth. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, it was just a zipper back and forth. So game one of the one, they wanted one on TV every day.
Yeah.
All the way through. So they want me to go all of them.
Oh, geez.
So I did. I went to every game. I would fly from Calgary back to Montreal or wherever the other East Coast thing was, and back and forth. So you shoot a game. The next morning you're flying clear across to wherever. Then after that game, the next morning you fly back to where you just were for game 2. Then you go back to that. Then you come back to game 4 at a different city. Uh-huh. So, and I did that all the way through. And then he says, after that was all done, and then he said, do you want to do the Stanley Cup Finals? And I said, maybe. No, I said, yeah.
At that point, were you like pretty tired or like?
No, because it was just fun to do, So,
yeah.
And a challenge, because hockey's going to be one of the more challenging ones. And hockey on Stroves even propels it to a further challenge. It's not just hockey with a motor drive, it's hockey with single shots.
Yeah.
Say it's different between trying to kill a running deer with a machine gun versus a single shot rifle.
Pistol.
Yeah. So anyway, so I said, yeah. So I did that, and it was and Calgary was playing Montreal, and that was the furthest you could go.
Yeah.
In Canada. So I was up in Canada for all that time, back and forth, and then the Canadians won it in Calgary, and it was their 26th or 23rd. Was it 23rd? Yeah, 23rd Cup. And
it's wild.
And this was back when it was not this throw T-shirts on and hats and bring a stage out and all that stuff they do now. It just suppresses any of the real emotion that the players have. All right, so they literally bring the Conn Smythe Trophy out, present it. I mean, they literally, like right at the end, the people, they're
like the horn blows and then the trophy's out.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're opening doors and they're bringing it out. There's no, big carpets and all the because I go to ones now, and a lot of times the players are just standing around literally for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
and there's no real emotion anymore.
Yeah.
You know, this was back when the players got the cup, they skated with it, and it wasn't like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And this was your first experience on ice during the end of a Stanley Cup Finals, which you did for 33 years.
Oh yeah, and
That
this
led
one
to
in
33 years in a
particular,
row.
I saw something happen with this one that I've never seen since. I've been at all those 33, and unless I missed it, but I don't think I did, because you usually follow the cup after they present it.
Mm-hmm.
These people, the players, they held the cup up by the base over their heads together, and you always see them. They're holding it sideways,
horizontally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all ergonomics.
Yeah.
But these guys held it, and it was so unique. It was just crazy.
Did that shot make it in the magazine? Did you get a shot on that?
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh, it's right here.
it's right here.
Who is
that's
that?
it. Yeah. That's the one.
Who's that holding it up?
Bob Gainey and Larry Robinson are holding it up, and it's never been done like that before.
Yeah.
Or at least ever since. I mean, and
Let me see that.
It does look like kind of.
and then here, let me show you.
I just wanted to give a shot to the
Oh yeah,
camera.
yeah. But here, I'm going to show one other picture, and then you got stuff. Again, these people, and the other thing is, there's no ads on the boards. This is very unique, kind of.
Yeah.
And the players still have their helmets on. Nowadays, they throw their helmets off. They don't. But here, this is. So that's the same.
Oh, yeah.
That emotion out of that guy right
But
there.
yeah, but you get that. See, because they're not setting a stage up. They're not putting carpet out. Look, there's no boards.
That's cool.
No ads on the
this is
boards.
like 3 minutes after the game ended.
Yeah, I mean, they do it right away on purpose, because it was never, you know. And by the way, this is a book that SI did on the Canadiens' 100th year anniversary, and that ran on the cover of SI's magazine also.
That's awesome.
Wait, that was the
Amazing.
first page? Was the
Second or third.
second or third page? There it is.
Yeah.
What do they call that? A lay flat? Or what is that?
No, it's just a double truck.
Double what?
Double truck.
Double truck?
Yeah.
Who came up with that name?
Yeah.
Some guy.
Do you know that this player in here? Do you know who this guy is?
Yeah, it's Claude Lemieux.
Claude Lemieux? Oh gosh.
Yeah, and he went
Wow.
later. He went
See-
to Colorado, I think, or something.
Lemieux is he related to?
Related to Mario?
It's
Mario.
like saying, is Bill Smith related to Bob Smith? It is.
So they're not.
No.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, that's a rare last name,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Not in Canada.
not,
Yeah, I
not in
guess
Canada.
not. Okay.
But yeah, so he's, but yeah, I mean, that just shows what I mean is, and the front picture, if I can reference it one more time, the front picture,
Please.
one of the problems is, it's not a problem, but I went out there, there was like 5-6 other photographers out there, but they didn't have all the clutter of everything. So literally, since they presented it, we're out there.
You're right in front of
This
these
is
guys.
okay. I could show you the original slide of this, and you know what the original slide looks like?
Well, no, we haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen
It's
it.
this.
That's it.
No, it's this cropped. I mean, this is full frame.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I'm
that's awesome.
saying. You're not trying to, like, so many people
You're not
nowadays
trying to crop
are, no,
in over people.
But
Yeah.
no, but see, people nowadays, I'll just crop in. That just takes a lot of the difficulty factor. If this were gymnastics,
Yeah.
that would take that out. And these,
Because you can't shoot so wide.
well, let's put it this way: they ran into me with the cup, and I had to back up to shoot.
I want to touch on really quick and just to chime in here. Back to you can't check the back of the camera on these films. You can't see what you're getting.
Right.
What in those moments, you're obviously things are happening so fast. How do you know you didn't accidentally hit the shutter speed or did something and then have, like, what is that like? Because you basically take these slides, you mail them off.
Yep.
And when that comes out in Walgreens or whatever, wherever you get your sports.
You mean the Time
Illustrated.
Inc. lab on the 20-something floor of Time Inc. building?
Yeah, whenever
the
you
giant lab.
whenever
that's-
I had a subscription, so I probably
Whenever you,
saw some.
No, you're thinking of Walgreens prescription.
Oh,
Yes.
prescription.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
wherever you see it for the first time, because you were probably going in the store seeing it, that's the first time you're seeing that image, other than what you saw through your eyes through that mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the distance between like you hitting the shutter and then you seeing the final product? Like how far off is that?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty
No.
quick, right? Because it was every Monday they had an issue coming out.
Well, yeah, it's a weekly, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but I'm going to make fun of the reality of this. Last month, I went up to SI and I got all my old slides from the first like 14 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the selects, these are the ones they kept. So out of a game, they might have kept 200 pictures or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all that, 99.9% of it, I've never seen in my life.
Really?
Because it's slides. They kept them
Oh, yeah.
on file.
Yeah.
So they were in a dusty box
On
in some, like,
file, but they were
warehouse.
organized, but
No, I
on,
know.
on file. So now they're in my house. But the thing is, that's what I've never seen it. I only saw what ran.
Yeah.
See, so at this point, I've never seen any of those.
And in part of it, like you were saying earlier, and I know this because we've worked together. They have, especially if it's a Sunday night game or something, and they got to get them out Monday. They have to go through those really quick. They may not pick the very best.
Oh, I know,
shot.
and a lot of the times they don't anyway, because some rookie hockey player might have crashed his face into a goalpost and they didn't save it, or they didn't use it. See, but it's still in there. Mm-hmm. And
So there's tons.
I haven't started going through it yet, but I did go through the.
This is visual aid time.
This assignment with Michael Jordan came back as 45.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I remember that.
Was
Oh
this,
no! And this was in Indianapolis, and it was very covert. No one knew he was coming back. NBC had thinking he might. So I was sent there off of another assignment. Can you get over there? Because I think he might come back.
Yeah.
So
who got the cover of that? I'm just kidding. I know.
But no, this is my. This is my funny thing. So now they didn't used to put your name on the covers. Now on these covers, they put your name on the cover. This is the Georgia winning the
last year.
this last year.
This year.
See, and
It was this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Photographed by David E. Klutho.
Yeah, so
Oh, now
now
they're
they put
putting
it
them
on
on the
there,
cover, yeah.
but they didn't used to.
Yeah, they do it
Yeah.
on the front page when you open
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Hidden
But-
in there.
but-
Is that something you guys had to like fight for or what?
No, it was just I don't know how it gravitated in there.
Okay.
I think you know why I think some of the writers were getting theirs on by the story that was in there, so they started doing. I think.
Yeah.
But I beat them to it accidentally. See, look at this one.
Like, oh, that's just to your house. It's got your street
It's to my
address.
address. It's to my house, so my name's on the cover of SI.
Oh, geez.
Wait a minute. Is that baked in there
Yeah, it's printed on there.
for all of them?
No, but for
it's just-
mine. This is the only copy. The only copy with my name on it.
I was. That'd be hilarious
Wow.
if that was on everybody's copy.
No, this is rare.
Can you? There's only one of these in the whole world.
Yeah, that's
This is incredible.
Why are you bending that thing? It's got a crease on the middle of it. You could have put that in a.
the postal guy did that in the mailbox.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway, I was.
They didn't put it.
So that was the first time you had your name on the cover.
Is that your? Yeah.
Technically, no.
Okay.
Because you got your other issues. okay?
Yeah.
Well, so it with that one right there, you bringing that up, is that your favorite Sports Illustrated magazine? Because I know you have a lot of photos in there, a lot of great stuff out of that.
This is the only one that I could lay my hands on that had my name on it.
Oh, I see. That's what the.
So the other ones we don't actually know if they're your photos because they're.
Well, no, it says
You have
it
to
on
turn the
inside.
page.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at the cover.
Well, no. So anyway. So yeah, there's other ones, but
Okay.
in real aside, I loosely figured out. I did the math on how many times my name was in there, like ever, between the mastheads, they're based on masthead circulation, and the amount of pictures and the mass like a billion or something. Well, I'm just saying.
It's a lot. So you've gotten to work with like all kinds of cameras and like lenses and stuff over the years. So what are some of the wildest sort of? What are you doing over there? What is that?
It looks like a 3D camera rig?
Oh, it is.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's coming right out of the frame. Incredible.
Look at it. Everything.
Well, okay, so
Well, this camera, and I don't know what kind of cameras you guys have, but this camera,
4D cameras.
This camera has shot the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
In 3D?
Yeah,
Of course.
including Heidi Klum,
Oh my God.
a real trooper,
do you have that magazine?
at home.
Oh, you don't. I thought I saw it.
No, I think that should be a different episode.
Yeah, so Bill, maybe you cue it up that
Yeah.
we can talk about more of this later, but nobody in the world really has done what you've done with 3D photography in sports.
Well, yeah, because we shoot anaglyph, which is the red and blue glasses, and it's the only way you can print it. And frankly, we did the five books.
I got them sitting right there.
Yeah,
five
five-
books sitting right over there.
5 books, and the swimsuit issue twice, and the Olympics,
Australian
Australian Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And it ran on the cover.
Ooh, that's nice.
And it
Oh,
came-
the whole
it came with
magazine was in.
There's that guy.
Wait, the whole magazine's in 3D.
No,
right?
it's at least 20 pages.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I mean, and it comes with the glasses, and there's all these different sports.
Your story on how you got them to
That's
write
hilarious.
is my probably all-time favorite
Oh, no,
story. We
that-
cannot tell it.
Oh,
So
we
if you
not-
guys want
no.
to hear that, if there is anybody interested, leave a comment and let us know, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
get Dave back on another time, because you really did train in 3D. You didn't just do it one time and we're like, hey,
Oh,
we
no.
should try this. So we can't get into that. We just don't have time. But
There's multiple tentacles to that whole deal, which involve mystery and
Ooh,
so
mysterious.
So let's move on then.
Yeah.
You went to school as a backup option for what you wanted to do instead of
Yeah.
going to school for your first option. So do we want to hit on that instead? Because we don't have
Yeah.
time for the most memorable experience. or all
yeah, we
these
kind of
other
covered
things.
that with this cup thing because
Okay. Yeah, that probably would be because that was your
Yeah.
first Stanley Cup. So that makes
one.
sense.
Do you want
So-
me to throw a sentence? You want to throw a sentence in there? that
Well, do you
need?
want to
Yeah.
ask that last
So
one?
Then you
What
could
is
you
your-
could reverse engineer that.
Dave, the story that you told was about how you basically just told yourself, I'm going to be a Sports Illustrated photographer, and that's it. And then you seemingly had a very linear path to get to that point. And so do you have advice for people now who want to follow their dream versus do something a little safer?
Well, there's no age limit to this.
Oh, yeah.
No, wait, no, to this advice. There's no age. A lot of advice is age specific. You know, if
Yeah.
you're in high school or this is not all age specific. So at any point, number one, you got to try something to make sure you like it, and you got to do something you like.
And you got to get far enough in it to know if you are.
Oh yeah, you got to give it a chance, but
Yeah.
but you try it anyway, and you just have to be able to dedicate yourself to it. But you're dedicating to something you like. See, I'm not saying you go do something you know just hard work, go dig ditches or something, and I don't like this. No, do something you like, and then fashion everything around it, because right now you could go to school and stuff. And I'm not saying don't go to school, but I'm saying is a lot of the people that are looking for high end workers / artists / whatever are looking for people that know what they're doing, that can do the job, and all these stuff. They don't care what degree you have. You know, they really don't. I have a finance degree, but I wanted a solid degree.
If you had no degree, you probably could have still gotten a job.
Absolutely,
At Sports Illustrated.
100%. Because I took the time over high school, college, to refine myself. It's like an artist. As he keeps painting, they keep learning new things. It's the same thing. You could do that with anything. My nephew, I think, was mentioning he wants to go into marine biology. Well, I guess what? You should be down volunteering at the science center.
Right.
You should be doing stuff in this and not wait. People think they got time to wait, and you give up so much of your ability to get ahead of everybody else.
Well, if you're truly passionate about it, you should definitely be doing it, though. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's another thing. If you're waiting, maybe you're not that passionate, or maybe you haven't given it enough of a chance to try to see if it's,
Or you're afraid.
or you're afraid.
No, that's the thing. You can't be afraid of it. Number one, because people will tell you that's oh yeah, right. You know, it's like if you walk in and say, I want to play for the NBA. That's my goal. Yeah, right. You
It's
know?
like when you went to those high school games, and we're shooting photos. And
absolutely.
Dudes from a newspaper were like, yeah, sure,
absolutely.
For SI.
And that shouldn't bother you. That should encourage you.
It should put a fire in you.
Yeah, it should.
What do you say to a lot of people get caught up in money? So it's like, I got to go make money. And do you think that's a bad way to look at it? Because you were spending money. So the last thing you were thinking about was making money. You were just trying to get, money was going to follow if you did what you were supposed to do, right?
Well, the end result of doing what you want for a living, and in today's dollars, that's probably worth $5 million to me.
Well, also,
it's worth that.
Yeah.
Because people say, well, you could make more in commercial this or that. Well, fine, but I don't want to do that. I'm just saying you specifically.
Exactly.
And I tell kids, I occasionally I go to these 8th grade job fair things or something, and I'll tell kids, find stuff you like and try it, and then keep going with it. Because if you don't, somebody else down the street's going to, and guess what? They're going to be hiring you.
Right.
As the boss. Mm-hmm. See? So that's just the way it works, because especially in creative things can be built a lot on your own merit, your own work. You can, because a lot of it's, I guess, self-taught, if you will, but, that's you need to be a self-starter kind of in anything you do to get further.
I think you're a perfect example too of somebody who's successful that, when you find the passion that you want to do and you put everything into it, how is anybody else going to beat that? Because they're not putting in the time. They're not putting in the work. It's the same as an athlete. That's like, Kobe Bryant may have been the best, but if he didn't put in all that work, he would maybe not be where he is. So I just think when you really like to do something, you probably are going to, find a way to
that's what this
successful.
Is. This is very comparable to the sports industry with an athlete that's trying to get to a top team. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But and that's why I don't discourage anybody. Like if some kid says blah blah blah, I want to do this, I go, good. How are you approaching it? And you don't want to. But a lot of people get them sold short by their parents or other friends saying, oh, and then right, it's a downer from the get go. So, and frankly, my mom said she just had to bite her tongue about me buying equipment, and so it's like, God, I can't believe that. And
I don't understand it. You have to do this.
Right.
But then a lot of people think, you're going out to buy a car and you buy a Lamborghini. Well, couldn't you have a Honda? I mean, no, because you have to.
I'm racing cars here.
Oh yeah,
not just driving
no, that's right. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's just going to be, you got it. It's very specific, but that's a detail, and that's the other thing. Detail oriented. You have to be detail oriented. You can't accept certain things. You got to be detail oriented in anything. Otherwise, someone else will be, and they will get ahead of you.
Would you say that you were a perfectionist with this stuff?
Well, I like to say detail oriented.
I would call it.
No, perfectionist.
I would call it a perfectionist.
No, but perfectionist seems a little more on the neurotic kind of.
Who are you describing here?
No, I'm detail oriented for a purpose. So. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of people are randomly perfectionists about things that don't matter. I'm saying detail-oriented for purpose.
Is the rest of your life just a huge mess? Is that
no?
Oh yeah,
okay. Not at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got
Marriott
towels everywhere.
I do have I stocked up a couple weeks ago. They had a good. And I went. Where'd I go? I went to a football game somewhere in Minnesota. Oh, and they had a good new batch of towels.
Oh my God!
No, because I went to they just remodeled.
This guy has a whole linen closet.
You could buy those at the store, right?
Yeah, he could get them for free at a.
No, Marriott has theirs specifically made. They do.
And he thinks they come included with the. It's so funny that he has one right here.
I gotta feel this towel.
It's not the. It's not the softest towel.
Okay.
No, but
it's a good towel to dry your car.
No, but they're sturdy in that. No, they are. You can tell these are hotel towels because they last and they are sturdy. A lot of hotels you get are crap.
Well.
I just want to thank our sponsor, Marriott Hotels.
If you want to sponsor us,
but
Marriott.
Don't steal the bathroom. They will bill you. There's limits.
The robe, you can't.
The robe,
take the
I mean.
Oh, yeah, don't take the
those
robe.
aren't
No.
easily replaceable. Probably.
No.
I was
Costs a little bit
mad
more.
that Kansas City Marriott had the big M logo towel, and I went back the next year trying to complete my set, and the guy goes, well, we had to get rid of those because they got all stolen.
Yeah. Yeah, by you.
No, I said, oh, so I said, and he knew, and he goes, didn't get your set done, did you? And it's like, cause you can't, you know, anyway.
So Marriott Hotels, if you are looking for the towel thief, he's right here. His name's Dave Klutho.
That's the thing you got to do. Is the stories in the road thing, because
Oh yeah,
that's gold. It
You know,
really is
I mean,
gold.
we'll see what our million responders say to
Yeah,
the,
we're gonna
the
get
questions they ask. And-
100,000 comments.
I think we had 10 people listen to the first episode.
Which is pretty good.
My dad,
Yeah.
your dad,
Yeah.
Dave listened. That was probably
Yeah, does that
we were
count?
The 10th.
I listened
I
later
listened-
though.
I listened.
You already got 11 now because
Yeah.
I listened to that
Well,
after the fact.
That's pretty
Maybe
good.
more people will listen to your story. I do like that you brought up the attention to detail. I think some people don't put that at a high.
That's like the top-
everything.
that's like the
everything.
top, because-
especially in the creative.
Well, that's the
industry.
difference between
Could-
somebody who's good and somebody who's great.
Well, because you look at something and there's mistakes or there's little nuance things, and they should have caught or they should have dealt with or whatever.
Some of that is laziness, probably. Some of that is
Well, yeah, but then they're not getting that job.
because you don't think attention to detail is something you're born with. That's something that you learn. Because I didn't have it when I worked with you, and I had to get it pretty quickly, or I had you pushed me. There were some
Well,
things I
I'm
did
still-
that I was like,
I'm still
I
learning.
wasn't thinking in that way, and then it was like, oh, this is Sports Illustrated. You can't just
Well, you do it
can't just take
automatically
this.
too. That's the thing. Once you get to that point, you end up doing it automatically for
Yeah,
everything.
once you
You
get,
know?
I think once you get,
Oh,
there,
that like yesterday at Costco, that shopping cart, I got to move it. Because with someone else's, and I pulled in a spot that was 2 spots away from a shopping cart. That's
Oh, you're a cart narc. That's
no,
what you are.
I had to move it because I thought, you know what?
You're going to be in the way.
No, and that's
Somebody's
the other
gonna hit
thing.
this or it's gonna
Preventative
roll,
stuff
it's gonna
too.
roll down,
Yeah,
and it's gonna hit your car.
exactly.
Well, that's thoughtfulness too.
But no thoughtfulness of my car. You're right.
yeah, that's right.
So
No, I was gonna say, I worked with you for probably 7 years. I've known you like my whole life.
I remember when you weren't even
yeah,
around.
yeah. You've known me longer because I probably couldn't even talk, and you knew me. But
I saw you. I saw you at your mom's house. You were there.
when I was a baby,
You weren't even that yet. You're kind of.
in my mom's belly.
Yeah.
I see.
Still
In the
growing.
womb.
Still
I probably have a picture of you,
little baby growing, Jake.
Yeah,
and you have the famous 3D picture, of course. But
I'm still waiting for that.
no, the other one, the one of your team.
Oh, that one's great. But I really need the beer pong. Me and my mom were
that's
playing beer
right.
pong at a tailgate, and he shot
In
a 3D
Mizzou.
photo, and I know it was good. I never because
And
he
I-
showed it to me.
No.
because it was you had it.
Yeah.
And I've been asking for it for
It's-
years, and I know
on some hard
I know
drive
what's gonna
somewhere.
I know what's gonna happen.
It's
You're-
on some hard drive.
No, one day when you're long and gone, you're gonna have like some map for me to go find it. In some other
That would be
country.
funny.
I've thought of that
You
like
should.
it's gonna be hidden
You're gonna
somewhere
show your
because that's how.
kids.
Yeah.
I should start hiding things all over the country,
Yeah.
like a geocaching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you got to crack the code to get to the geocache.
No, what I was going to say is though, working with you, of all the things I've seen, the photography, all of that was, I think the thing that was the most interesting is that you were always seeing things, not from, what's the word I want to say? You were seeing
Solutions.
opportunities.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
never,
Oh,
whenever,
there it
when
is.
you,
Okay.
when,
Mr.
whenever, no,
Mr. Thesaurus.
there's a lot of people that are when you phrase something, it's like, oh, we should try this. A lot of people are like, well, yeah, but then you got to do that. It can't. You might not be possible. Like those guys that were like, oh yeah, you can't. Sports Illustrated. Why would you be thinking of that? You were only thinking about opportunities. That changed my mindset on how to approach life. Because even like the Blues video, when I thought I was posing like a crazy idea of getting those guys, the ice crew guys, to turn off all the lights in the arena during the Stanley Cup Finals, not during a game, but like get in there, get this shot of them turning on the lights. And I remember when I asked you and I thought it was crazy, I was like, you're the one to ask crazy questions because you were like, oh yeah, no, we can do that. It's always oh no, we can easily do that. And
Oh, sure,
even
yeah.
but most people would be like, I don't think we can do that. And so I think that's interesting. And that it's probably why you became a Sports Illustrated photographer, have done the things you wanted to do, is just by only seeing the.
God, we can do a whole show on this. There's so much unknown gold stuff that, because like I said, I just in my unscientific research, if we're at a bar talking about this stuff, people are just eavesdropping. The whole thing's eavesdropping because it's just like, oh my God, because it's stuff people don't get to hear, Yeah. I mean, and you can support it with photos of how things came to be, like the swimsuit issue. Well, no one's ever done, how you shot the 3D swimsuit issue, how you get this angle. We put pictures. I remember the coach of the Dallas Mavericks, we put a camera right here, like between his feet. And it was just hilarious because, and he let us do it, but
it's pushing the boundaries and trying new things.
Oh yeah.
I think the board cutout,
the board cutout,
you did the first one.
Yeah, no, but the first one was in the Zamboni gate or something with the plexiglass, blah, blah,
right.
blah.
In Detroit.
Yeah. I just pulled up something out of the archives, 1990 Frozen 4. 91. Frozen 4. We cut a hole this big. All right. In the boards, just the bottom of the hole was right at the yellow plastic line. So it's this far off the ice.
So it's way down here.
It's right here.
Yeah.
It's ground level.
Yeah.
Ice level.
And it if you're the goalie and here's the goal post, it's off that way like 6 or 7 feet.
Yeah.
It is so right,
Well,
and no glass,
no glass,
this big. And I shot the Frozen 4, the semis, and the final
1990,
91. And the reason I know this, I just edited through some of it because
your camera never got hit with a puck or a skate.
Oh, sticks were coming through all the time.
Okay.
And I'm laying flat under the stands.
You were shooting?
Yeah.
You're under the stands?
Under the stands, wow. And I'm shooting.
You can't do that today.
No, but I did it though, because the guy said, I go to the NCAA guy, hey, here's what we want to do. Oh, okay, all right. I guess. So we cut it. It was just hilarious. And it was scary as heck.
Yeah.
And sticks were coming in, all kinds of stuff, were happening. And this was in St. Paul, which was actually a good thing because the boards were plexiglass. There's a weird anomaly arena. Boards were plexiglass.
Yeah.
I had a hole, but I could see people coming. But if it was all the white stuff, you'd have no clue if some guy.
It was clear plexi all the way down.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I had a hole.
Interesting.
And and the same thing with the net cam. The guy did a net cam in the 1968, 70, somewhere in there, and it hadn't been done since. So we did that in Hartford, and we went out and I just made something out of foam and put it out there, and that was the first time it had been done in years. And that was I think Pronger, was he even? I think he was just getting there, and we just went with it. So I used it another couple games, and in Dallas, someone took a slap shot, and it's padding, but there's no plexi or anything.
Yeah, nothing over the lens.
Yeah, so it took one right down the pipe. Oh, great slap shot right down the pipe.
I wish you had that to share out of your tote. What that looks like.
Well, no, the ref. I was firing it. I was between the benches, and there's another. Yeah, that's another thing. There's so many weird.
Is it? It's just all remote control.
Yeah, it was a radio, and he comes over. Do you want this? And I go, well, yes. So I had one of film envelopes. So he puts it all in the film envelope. So there it is. And I later got the other piece off. The whole thing exploded.
Awesome.
And then I sent it all. I was shooting Nikon. I sent it all back to Nikon and said, I'm not sure what's wrong with this, but I think it's impact damage. So they sent me a fixed one, which is new one for $160. But the whole thing is the people, it's just they don't understand any of this, because it's just
Well, part of those stories are a perfect example of seeing opportunities and not obstacles. But yeah.
And I think it illustrates like just how much time and work and dedication it takes to get to these points. It's not just showing up with a camera and waiting for like, oh, they're holding the cup up now, click.
Oh yeah.
It's not that. It's so much more.
Well, it's planning too, because you got to plan. Just got to plan.
Yes.
Well, that's the
pre-pro podcast.
Everything.
That's the respect of seeing like the final images, but like hearing the stories of you spent every weekend when not partying with people, you were shooting football games and you were doing this and that there's something to be said about that, where it's like people look at that, it's like, I want to do that. It's like, but do you know what that takes?
It's like the kid that wants to wants to go to the games but doesn't want to practice.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll make it because I got a home run at the Little League yesterday, you know.
Talent is a real thing, but you have to put in
but in unrefined talent is not any better than
worthless.
Right.
You know. Well, part of the whole thing with the SI thing is I just knew that I had to do the more than I needed to do, you know, because I don't want to be that guy, not the guy that almost was that guy, you know, that makes it into that, you know, because it's
no one remembers him.
Yeah, well, no, but it's the slots are not very few, and you can't sit there. And it applies to anything. It's not just sports, or not just photography. It's not just creative stuff. It applies to anything. It's a work ethic. College.
I think the moral of the story, though, is there's nothing wrong with, you know, if you don't have not everybody's going to know what they want like you or have the drive.
But they can try.
No, I know, but not everybody's going to have that same type of drive or want to be, and that's okay. But then you can't expect that to happen. That's fine. You can you can go down this path and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, people don't want to, you know, work do like give up their weekends and that stuff. That's fine. But the alternative is you're not going to get everything.
Well, that's why the most understood comparison is with sports, because people understand that if you don't practice all the time, shoot baskets for 3 hours, whatever. If you don't do that, you can't expect to be in the NBA. You might do well and get a college scholarship, but you're not, you know, you gave up that in order to do other things, but then that's what you accept. You know, it's just like anything in the training industry of any kind.
It's only so many hours in the day. How much do you want to put toward getting to your goal?
Well, I just happen to if I was picking something as a hobby, I'd pick the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, but that saves you, that covers you, because regardless, if you can do well, that's what I'm saying. It's worth $5 million. You know, it has value, because I can't count the number of people that I've known in my lifetime that come on, God, again, it's the weekend's finally here. It's like, oh, it's well. And
can you imagine? Can you imagine your life?
And I said,
living
this is
for the weekends, though. Like,
and I never thought I was at work. I never thought of a weekend meaning anything.
Yeah.
And a weekend was a weekday.
I think
and that was by design, because I said, if I do something I like, and say the guy fishing, and suddenly he's on the Bass Pro Tour. I mean, he's made it.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh my God, I got the best thing because I'm doing what I want. It could be something, a sculptor, a potter, you know, pick something you really like to do. And I never even got, and people say, you get burnt out on it. No, you don't, because you like to do it. If someone paid you to do your things you like to do, you wouldn't even think it was a job. It would never even cross your mind.
Thank you, Dave Klutho, for coming on the show, giving us a rousing history of yourself and your photography stories and how you've made it up through SI and everything. Thank you for being on the show so much. We definitely want to have you back, because you have 1,000 stories to tell, I'm sure, and 1,000 things to teach us as well. So we appreciate it. This has been the Pre-Pro Podcast, presented by SPLYCEHOUSE, hosted by me, Bill Parmentier of Old Storm Studios. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. See you next time.
See ya. Thanks, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Anytime.